Good afternoon. I hope you guys are well. Welcome to the first of two talks regarding the Unit 4 proposal essay, problem and solution. So you guys have already started work on that. You've worked on your reading response. You have worked on the questions and answers for Chapter 6 regarding the exemplar essay. So you already have a foundation when it comes to it. I just want to set you guys up for success because this is the week that you choose your topic. What are you actually going to write about? What are you going to drill down deeper when it comes to the problem, and then of course the solution. So we know that this is a persuasive document. Not only do you have to identify a problem and propose solutions, but you have to convince your audience that your solution or solutions are the best. But this is what I want you guys to think about before we even go too deep into what your topic is. I want you to think about this whole idea and this notion of what is a problem. So when I really think about it, most problems are solvable. The things that make an issue or a controversy sort of unsolvable is the fact that the audience, the people who are impacted, don't agree on what the solution should be. But there are solutions. Most problems are solvable. Problems are opportunities, and problems are challenges. So we usually define a problem in a fairly negative way. A problem is a hassle, it's a pain in the neck. And this is really most often true. But generally a problem can be considered the difference between what is and then what might or should be. And believe it or not, problems have their advantages too. Okay, so we can, really look at this idea of a problem being solvable in a sense that we can do something about it. The task may seem overwhelming, but it's not hopeless. So our optimistic assumption is that we can change the world. When I talk about problems being opportunities, this is a chance to make something good happen. If it wasn't for problems, what would our motivation be to really create change? And then when we talk about or think about problems being challenges, this is where we call upon the very best of our abilities and we ask ourselves to go beyond what we thought we could. This, believe it or not, makes life interesting and at least sometimes fun. Without problems, life would be pretty boring. So I wanted to put that thought process out there to you to at least start to challenge your notions and your conventions that this particular essay can put us in a position of not sort of dwelling on the problems, but pushing towards solutions which can bring hope and optimism. So this is what I want you to do. Grab a sheet of paper and something to write with. I believe in you guys getting some time and space to do some sort of pre-writing so that you can collect your thinking and sort of sum up how you feel and how you think about certain issues. So then that way it's easier for you to choose a topic. This is what I want you to reflect on before we write. When was the last time you saw a problem and were able to devise a solution for it? Reflect on that for a moment. All right. Let's put some writing down onto the paper. I want you guys to write a reflection where you lay out the problem and the solution and the rationale for your choices and thoughts. Okay? What was that problem that you encountered? What was the solution that you came up with? What was the rationale for your choices and your thoughts? Now, this reflection is really more for you. It's to help you see that we deal with problems and we craft solutions on a daily basis. That problem may be sort of small, or it may be one of consequence. It has some significance to it. But regardless, this is a process that we deal with on a daily basis. So I want you to press pause on the video, and then that way you can have some time to reflect on the problem, the solution, and the rationale. This is for the last problem that you dealt with. Take about 4 minutes to fast write your thoughts. Don't worry about spelling. Don't worry about grammar or anything like that. Go ahead and get it down. All right, press pause. Put yourself on a timer for 4 minutes. And then check your reflection and come back and press play again. All right, welcome back. So when we talk about the proposal, we're talking about problems and solutions. So I want you guys to be in a mindset to describe a problem of consequence, framing it narrowly enough to explore convincing solutions. Identify the wide range of rhetorical situations that might call for a proposal argument, and then argue effectively for both the seriousness of the problem and the proposed solutions using strong evidence. So these are our learning objectives. These are the things that we're going to achieve by the end of this particular unit. Now, keep in mind the motives for writing a proposal. Why are we even doing this? Write because you care about the problem. Write because you hope to change something. And then write because you hope to learn something. There's a reason why the textbook is called The Curious Writer, because as we are looking to not just express ourselves in writing, we're looking to learn something as well. So these are our motives for doing this particular essay. Now, when it comes to your choice of topic, I want you to reflect on your community and or any subculture you belong to. What are the issues and challenges facing these particular groups? So this is something that is going to be real world. This is something that is going to impact more than just you. It's going to impact those around you, this problem that you are looking to solve. Maybe it's the larger community that you belong to. And when I say larger community, where you actually geographically live. So maybe it's Naperville. Maybe it's West Chicago. Maybe it is Glen Ellen, or maybe it is in the city of Chicago. Maybe your specific neighborhood or community within your city. What's the larger community? What issues are they facing? How can you bring a fresh perspective and provide a solution or solutions? Now, when I talk about subculture or mention subculture, a subculture is really a group of like-minded people coming together that are separate and set apart from the larger community. They're subcultures of all walks of life. Subcultures are really driven by your hobbies and your interests. For example, a subculture would be people who are marathoners. They run marathons. They group up together. They talk about the specifics of running a marathon, about the training, getting ready for a marathon. That is a subculture. In the video from last week, the Alley Project, you learned about a subculture. Graffiti writers. That's a subculture. So think about your own hobbies, your own interests, things that you have in common with other people. You may belong to a subculture. Perhaps your problem solution, your proposal deals with an issue or challenge that is coming against the subculture you belong to. So you have some options. These are avenues for which you can find a topic that you care about. Now, when we talk about problems of consequence, this is what I really mean. Your initial problem should be one that is worth your time and effort to take on. Problems that have weight will more than likely have multiple opportunities to get solved. Which one is the best? Will the majority of people affected agree with your direction? It will be your job to not only solve the problem, but convince people that your way is the best way. So this is very much a persuasive document. So your problem that you ultimately land on, that you will be building your drafts on, your essay on, it has to have some sort of weight, right? It can't be so simple that you can sort of sum it up in a page and a half or so. No, because the final draft of your proposal essay needs to be a minimum of 4 pages. So it should be something that is really worth your time. Now, there's always a flip side. The problem that you sort of finalize or you end up choosing to write about, even though it should have some weight, it should be of consequence, it needs to be manageable. It needs to be manageable. It can't be too big. Now, you won't be able to solve the world's problems if they're too big in a 5-page essay. So, for example, solving the Middle Eastern conflict or stopping global warming might be too big. How can we narrow that down? So asking these questions that you see on the screen can help you do that. Break that initial problem down into workable parts. Who is involved? Why is this a problem? Where is this a problem? What are some of the solutions already proposed? So maybe not taking on the entire Middle Eastern conflict, which has obviously been going on for thousands and thousands of years. Maybe it is looking at your specific community and seeing how you can foster greater connectivity and understanding amongst Muslim groups and other subcultures or groups within your community. How about that? See how we started off in a sort of macro state and moving into a micro state, okay? As opposed to tackling, oh, let's stop global warming. Well, that's kind of big to be taking on in a 4 to 6 page essay. But what if you, again, looking at your community or your subculture, drilling down, not entirely taking on solving the entire problem of global warming, but looking at it from a community standpoint. What can you do in your community? Maybe it is looking at issues of sustainability or renewable energy or community gardens, right? All of a sudden we're going from macro, big, to micro, small, narrowing it down. Okay, keep those in mind as you are moving throughout your thinking for week 14, because you guys are going to be choosing a topic coming up by the end of this week. So think about those things, keep them in mind, take everything that you have maybe jotted down for yourself and you may be thinking about into the second talk. So I'll see you guys in talk 2 in just a moment.